Tommy, did you buy your cell phone in 1990? We could barely hear you.
I'm trying to talk on Bluetooth.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how to do this.
Yeah, just don't.
Dude, whenever we had that video, it was one of our little games, started out like, whoa, you want me to root for LSU? And then you're like, no, I want you to shut the fuck up. I marked out loud in the middle of the doctor's office.
I was angry.
Mailbag, send in your dumb questions and watch us give even dumber answers. Not Mott's Mailbag.
Oh, I agree.
And welcome to the Group Chat Podcast. It's now time for everybody's favorite segment. That's the Not Mott's Mailbag, brought to you by the Lafourche Concert and Events Club. We got a bunch of different questions sent from people all over the world. Some of these may or may not be real people, but we got a bunch of different questions, and we look forward to getting them answered from you guys. And in the future, we're going to post a link every Wednesday in the morning asking for your questions, and we look forward to getting comments from all you guys and questions from all you guys, because without you, we couldn't do this segment every week. So we lead off with Cooj's sister.
I didn't put this in.
Which Louisiana-based TikTok influencer would you prefer catering your 4th of July cookout? Stale Cracker? Ralph the Baker? He-Mel's Cajun Kitchen, okay. The Cajun Ninja? How the Cajun Lady Accent? I'm not big on TikTok. The only one I know is Cajun Ninja, so that's got to be my answer. I don't know who the fuck any of these other people.
You don't know who Stale Cracker is?
You don't know who
No
Ralph
clue.
the Baker is?
Ralph
No
the Baker
clue.
just opened the...
Oh, okay, yeah. See, that's the thing. I probably know all of these people. I just don't know their names, because I've seen like little snippets.
73 sticks of butter, baby.
That I do, yeah.
He just opened the Po' Boy restaurant in New Orleans.
All right, y'all, I got a little surprise for you, baby.
72
Let's go.
sticks of butter.
All right, y'all, hit it. 1 stick of butter, baby.
Oh, God.
Tommy is furious.
Yeah, because now he's got his fucking little minions doing the same thing. Like, we're going to start off with 8 sticks of butter, y'all. Like, it's just, like, bro, get over it. You
Where is
can't
this guy from?
He's from
you
New
can't
Orleans.
act like
West Bank.
Cajun.
Gotta be West
Yeah,
Bank,
he just
huh?
opened a freaking
Po'
Po'
Boy
Boy
shop.
shop. But he
Yep.
dresses like a freaking retard with the anime stuff.
This is why we had to have him on during the mailbag segment. You're adding great value
All right,
to
y'all,
this,
we're gonna make
Tommy.
some seafood stuff. Flounder,
Don't
baby.
you
Let's go.
dare
Get
disgrace
that
me
skillet
with
nice and
a
hot. 1
knockoff
stick of
store
butter,
brand.
baby.
What's with the
One
one
medium.
stick of butter?
I don't know. This is early
Everyone I
edition.
watch is like 100. Give me 2,000 sticks of butter, man.
And half of it makes it on the pot.
That's why he throws so
Yeah,
much butter, because
you-
half of it flies off.
Give me a 4-inch PVC culvert full of butter.
Bond just
And
put,
breaks the black stone.
Bond just shared, oh, bruh, man, I don't even know that number. It's about 8 trillion sticks of butter.
Got to put baby on the end of that. Okay, well, I'm gonna go with.
Nick's a Ralph the Baker guy.
I'm kind of not like. He kind of annoys me. I like Cajun Ninja.
8 sticks of butter, y'all.
Cajun Ninja catered our fantasy football draft.
Which I'm proud to say I'm now a member of.
Yeah, finally.
Which one you got, Tommy?
I hate Ralph the Baker.
I'm gonna take away my 20 sticks of butter.
I think How the Cajun Lady's fake. I've already experienced Cajun Ninja, so I'm going with Stale Cracker. I still hope to meet him. Possibly, I would hope I'd be lucky, whether it's Group Chat and or Better Colvado, to do some kind of collaboration. I think he's a cool-ass dude. Now that he's not a cop anymore, I think that party would be elevated to be Stale Cracker all day, every day.
Stale Cracker gets my vote as well. If I am going to cook something that I have never cooked before, I'm checking out his TikTok and I'm stealing that recipe and making it my own. He cooks some tremendous stuff, and to have something catered by him, whether it be a cookout or 4th of July cookout or whatever. I mean,
I don't know that I could even read this next one. Dudley from the Underwater Cell Phone Retrieval Specialist, Inc. wants to know, we all know the United States is the best country in the world. Hey, go America. Happy 4th of July. But if you could take a trip/vacation to any other country, where would you go? Nick, you are our resident world traveler.
We had a trip planned to Iceland years back. They got canceled because of COVID. I think that's the next place that's on the bucket list that we got to go is Iceland.
one of the best youth hockey coaches of all time.
Yes, indeed. One of my role models. Yes. Okay, so I've done, obviously, America. I've done Honduras. I've done Belize. I've done Mexico. I really have seen, and this kind of scares me a little bit because you hear all the things about how Australia has all these different creatures that could kill you and stuff. But there's some places in Australia that I've seen video and pictures of that I think are absolutely beautiful. I would go on the beaches of Australia.
I would pay to see you box a kangaroo.
Hey, look, that dude who's wanting whatever, I would knock his ass out.
So my list has Italy. That is a big-time bucket list. Food, females, old school architecture. And I'd probably end up joining the mafia and not come home.
I'm either going directly back to Greece because it's the greatest place I've ever been, or sign me up for Tahiti.
That ain't a bad option either.
Tommy, what did you like about Greece?
Everything. It was just so chill, very casual, and I love the fact that you can essentially go to the non-too big touristy spots. So, like, there's like a mini Santorini and a mini Mykonos that you've probably never heard of, and it's almost the same exact thing, just 10 times cheaper.
Okay.
So all the food's good, like what you eat at a Greek restaurant.
That's
cheap booze, nice beaches, and you just walk around everywhere. It's
Nick,
very
you got the palate of a
relaxed
4-year-old.
and late.
the food in Greece was the worst food I've ever had in any country I've ever been to. Second was Spain.
There's no way.
Everything is wrapped in leaves.
Yeah, it's
and has olives
fantastic.
and shit, and it sucked. I hated the Greek food.
Anytime I get to go to a Greek restaurant, I'm
where
in.
did you go in Greece?
Everywhere you went, the Santorini, Mykonos, wherever the cruise took us.
You went on a cruise. You gotta go live like a local.
But
I'm almost like, if you claim a state because you've been to the airport, I feel like a cruise, if you haven't been to that actual place.
You look up Greece, you go Google Greece, and the little white huts with the blue roofs, that's exactly where we went. And the
I don't know what that means.
Sucked.
Yeah, but if you're on a cruise ship, they're gonna usher you into the main port. You're gonna go to all the places that are right off the dock. You're not gonna venture 35 minutes into town because knowing you and your wife, like, we can't miss this. We're boarding on a ship. We don't want to stay in Greece. So
Tommy, on the other hand, would Uber home if he needed to.
Look, man,
and not pay for it.
I might just move to Greece instead of Ubering back home. But that'd be a new record. Sure.
I was like around in a hospital. I love
Not a
this
helicopter.
shit. I
Hey,
might
Uber.
move to Greece.
I'll be like, hey, can I take the poop cruise back? Would that be like half price?
Rat Teeth from Raceland wants to know, what's the most overrated 4th of July food item?
Shish kebab, if that's Greek. Probably pork and beans. Not a big fan of the pork and beans.
Hot dogs, if they're not Nathan's, or those other ones that I'm not a big, yeah.
Just stole my answer.
Grilled weenies.
That's a hot dog. People are too cheap to cook the good stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
Potato salad that's not prepared by somebody in your immediate family.
I knew he was going to say that.
Y'all some potato salad snobs.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
They try to make it too chunky, and knowing you with your fancy shirt, you're gonna put raisins in your potato salad. I'm gonna say that again because they got cut on glass.
I don't want no raisins in no potato salad.
Your
but
fancy
I'll
shirt.
eat Damien's grandma's potato salad. I'll eat Roray's potato salad. I'll eat Claire's potato salad. I don't care. It's all the same stuff.
2 in the group would be most likely, and the group meaning us, most likely to call Damien asking for a job, most likely to call Nick asking for a shirt, most likely to call Casey asking for a newspaper story, or most likely to call Tommy asking for legal advice.
I feel like Big Steve's picking on me because the only answer that wasn't me in my answer is the job, because I would be the one doing it.
I'm going to go, okay, so for most likely to call Nick's asking for a shirt, I bug Nick for like one shirt all the time.
All three of y'all ask for shirts, so it's not like y'all bugging me, but like y'all all three ask.
I feel bad because like my shit is like, hey, dude, can I get like one Bayou Sports shirt for Cole? Like, it's never like a big order. Like, I always feel like that's bugging you.
Yeah, I can't wait for that Bayou Sports 300 shirt order to come in.
So I always feel like that's annoying. Most likely to call me asking for a story, Damien to hype up Biddy coming up soon. I feel like that's a pretty easy one. So I think I'm the most likely to call Nick asking for a shirt because I'm always on his ass about that. Most likely to call Tommy asking for legal advice. My guy here.
Multiple times, including right now.
Yeah, big mafia over here. Nick?
Okay, so most likely to call Damien asking for a job. I think we all
Even answer that part. Yeah, we're all pretty.
I don't think any of us are going to be in the market for a job anytime soon.
We're all business owners, baby.
Never know, man.
Well, Damien's not, but
So most likely call Nick for a shirt. I feel like once a week, at least one of y'all is going to ask for something. Tommy's got an active order that he messages me from 5 different platforms about this order, and I'm confused as hell every time I'm like trying to figure it out. Check Facebook Messenger, check text, check a different text, check our green group chat text. Most likely to call Casey asking for a story. I agree with Casey. That's got to be Damien hyping up some kind of
Biddy
registration or something like that. Most likely to call Tommy asking for legal advice. I've been there, done that.
This week was trying to hook up some family.
When you making shirts, there's a lot of cease and desist orders that can be thrown around. So like, glad to have Tommy on my side for that.
Tommy, what you got?
Most likely to call Nick for shirts. I was going to go with me, but I think Damien might beat me just because I feel like every other week Damien's like, hey, make these shirts. Whereas when I do it, it's like a plethora at once. And Nick brought the shirt chat into a group chat, so I don't want to hear that. I thought he was like shifting our conversation, so that's why I went there. Most likely to call Casey for a story is Damien. He's just in too many public necessary entities to get that kind of information disseminated. Most likely to call Damien for a job.
Corporate attorney, Tommy Botto.
I don't think Danos is the kind of people that want me working for them.
Marcus from LCO wants to know, in honor of Independence Day, what was your favorite fireworks as a kid? Did you prefer big, pretty ones in the sky or small, destructive ones like M80s?
The coolest firework that I like, even as a kid and now, I don't know if they had them as a kid, maybe like a teenager and now, are the artillery shells.
Mm-hmm.
They are the big, pretty ones in the sky. But the coolest story, our guy Seen that passed away, got drunk one New Year's Eve and put 4 of them inside of his truck, lit them, and shut the doors.
Oh, that sounds really fucking stupid.
That was a sound I will never, ever forget. We opened the door. There was ash everywhere. Seats were burned.
It's like Home Alone where the top of the dude's head is burned.
I mean, he didn't stay there.
Oh, okay. I got you.
He just threw him in there and closed the door, but it was a nice stud. The window stayed intact, and it was a mess to clean up. And
but I have a fireworks story that you all were a part of. It involves me going to sleep early on New Year's Eve and Travis saying, "You lucky Kim's asleep in that room too, or I would go light a pipe bomb," or whatever he said in that motherfucker.
And there was no doubt that
was a bottle rocket is what he said. I got to go light a bottle rocket in that motherfucker. And then he proceeded to be nude while I did radio the next day. That was some fun, dude. Remember, he had Coach Kale at like gunpoint with a firework to his back. So I don't know how somebody didn't get killed that weekend, but everything went good there. My favorite fireworks, though, me and Big Steve, when we were little, and this is another story of a fireworks going wrong, he used to like to make bombs. I don't know what he would do.
Sparkler bombs.
He would always be like, "Hey, you want to hear a really loud explosion?" "Oh, yeah, Dad, that's cool." So he made this one time, and like he lit it, and then as he was going to like run away, he had like the Vince McMahon thing where he like tripped and like injured himself. So he's like just laying there as this bomb's about to go. Right? No, he didn't legitimately get hurt, but he like stumbled through it, and like it was a close call. And yeah, I never was a big fan of fireworks. Kind of gave me PTSD after that.
Allegedly, this is how this is made. You take like 50 sparklers and you wrap them as tight as you can with electrical tape, and you put it near a tree, and it'll blow the bottom out of a tree.
Damn.
We do not condone
So look,
that.
That's a lot of bad crap could happen with fireworks. Please be under the supervision of somebody, even if you're an adult, be under the supervision of somebody, because look, end of the day, 4th of July could be a hell of a time, and then it gets a little dark. You might have a good little buzz kicking. Just be careful. Don't end up like Jason Pierre-Paul.
I was just about to say, don't become JPP.
Yeah. Check out Tommy's TikTok that he released. I think it was today, if for reference.
Appreciate that plug.
Okay, gotcha.
Put it in reverse, Terry is one of the favorite 4th of July videos ever.
When I was a kid, it used to be the M60s and M80s. Basic, just light it and throw it at something or somebody or whatever. As an adult, I was shown the light of Roman Candle Wars, and I think that's my favorite.
Yeah, again, don't do that.
Yeah, not a good idea. Do not. It's fun, but don't do it.
As a kid, I really liked the smoke bombs because I found out that you could throw them in the water and they don't get messed up. They just keep going.
Did you guys see? I used to do this. Like, I would get like the black cats and stuff, and I'd play with my wrestling action figures, and then like it'd be like the main event of WrestleMania, and like the bad guy would put a black cat on Hulk Hogan and blow up the ring, and
Hardcore shit.
Jeez.
oh my god, the ring has exploded! Like, you guys never fucked with that?
No.
Okay, so I was a terrorist before my time.
Yeah. What's the worst firework ever? It has to be that snake thing.
Yeah, definitely the snake
Yeah.
car. Those little cars that never actually roll. You light it and it's supposed to do something, and it just never.
A lot of hype on it.
Like the
Whistles.
tanks.
Yeah, and it's supposed to like go, and it goes like an inch, and it just explodes itself.
Yep, way too much hype.
Those little jack thingies too that bounce all over the place. You never know where they're gonna go. You remember those
Jumping
things?
jacks.
Yeah. You never like you throw them on the ground. It's like you never know what direction to run because you don't know where it's gonna go next.
What's your favorite firework?
As a kid, anything with a parachute that I could go run and try to catch.
Yes, the kids.
Dude, those were awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, I forgot about that.
That is pretty.
You know,
cool.
like the little army. It was usually like a little army man go and you try to chase it down the street, and hopefully it didn't get caught in the power line. Nick kind of stole mine. I'm a huge fan of Roman candle wars now in my adult age. If I'm buying fireworks for a major holiday and we got kids involved, I'm that guy. Like, let me find the stupid $150 97 utility thing that shoots 87,000 rounds.
that would make you one of the top 10 strongest militaries in the world if you set it off.
Yeah, I'm technically ranking against above Uzbekistan on 4th of July. So
That's what it's all about.
yes or no? Do you want a war?
Humphrey from White Castle wants to know, are smartphones ruining childhood? We actually had a discussion about this on Play by Play today. We were talking about how children don't know how to communicate anymore if they're not typing their thoughts. And to say ruining, I don't know. I mean, kids still look like they're having a good time. I'll tell you this, Nick, and I mean this sincerely. Almost every time I come down the street to get to Damien's house, it makes me smile because Victor and Silas are like playing baseball or something outside cutting up. That does make me smile because not a whole lot of kids really cut up outside anymore. So that does give me some joy.
They're big fans of blitzball.
So to say they're ruining childhood, I don't know. But I think that I had a better childhood than they do because I was always in a swimming pool or I was doing something. Like, I feel like we had more fun and less worries because there's so much drama on these phone apps and like who's dating who and who's mad at who. And I feel like we're too connected. And I feel like I had a better childhood than the kids now because I was not involved in all that bullshit.
So much drama in the LBC. I'm 100% that is ruining the childhood.
Yeah.
Too much opportunity to get in trouble, and not even legal trouble, just trouble with people, because you give opinions like kind of what we do on a Wednesday night, and I'm sure we rub some people the wrong freaking way. And if we do, sorry you got triggered, and have the day you deserve. And just aside from like quick communication, because look, I'm a dad. My 13-year-old has a phone. It's very easy for me to have some really good communication back and forth with my kid, but that's the only positive. There's just so many negatives with that, and one of them is keeping them inside because a lot of times they are glued into that. It's ruining childhood in general.
Yeah. I would say this to the point I was talking about with Nick a second ago. The 2 times ago, whenever I came over here, I had to park in a different spot. Why? Because Kim was setting a volleyball on your roof, which I thought was also really cool. And I told her, like, hey, you getting some work in, huh? Yep, getting ready for volleyball. So we got a couple of parents here, the kids who like to, get a little outside time, which I love. Tommy, what's your answer?
Yes, but I'm going to go with the opposite one because just of like what I'm doing right now, I think smartphones make parents neglect their own kids.
That's true too.
Yes, as a parent, I agree with that. The iPads babysit the kids a good bit.
That's a
They're
great
acting
point.
up. Like Nico, he has an iPad. He's a 4-year-old, probably too young to have that, but he enjoys it and it keeps him from getting in trouble because without that, he's probably going to get in trouble.
I agree with Tommy on that. I think there's a lot of parents that use that as a babysitter and not have to really mess with their kids, which is unfortunate.
Right. There are a lot of people that should be paying child support to Baby Shark because Baby Shark is raising a lot of children. just throwing that out there.
It's probably, some of them are
I'm pretty
people
guilty of that as well, but it's a two-way street.
I wouldn't say it's ruining. I think it's just different opportunities that we had as when we were kids. There's some benefit to playing on electronics, like educational stuff, like even just watching like YouTube Kids. It might not be the best stuff for them, but there's some stuff in there. They learn stuff. They learn new words. They learn songs and stuff like that. My little 2-year-old constantly singing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, Baby Shark, playlist of shit that he sings when he doesn't have his iPad. He's just sitting in the car singing. Funny, cute, whatever. Kid learns some stuff of that. They also go play in the yard a lot. So maybe the time isn't equal with Victor and Silas playing Xbox all day and playing outside a little bit. They're getting enough of each one, I guess.
Y'all all have cool kids. Every one of y'all have cool kids. Your 2-year-old is the coolest kid in the history of cool kids.
I agree.
Like, he just sits there like, hey, whatever. You want to hold me? That's cool. I'll laugh while you do it. Like, you want to not hold me? Just give me a high five. I'll laugh while you do it. It's the most chill human being in the history of the world. Always at peace.
I don't have that in my house.
Would you rather live in a world with no internet or no AC? This is from Al from Chicago. Whew, I couldn't do the no AC thing, brother. I could do no internet for a while. It would be a pain in the ass, man. Let me tell you, it would be very inconvenient.
I feel like we did the no internet thing for most of our lives.
That's what I'm saying.
So first 15 years of our lives when we were actually kids that needed something to do. So like we've done that before.
But it wasn't as accessible as
Right.
it is now. We weren't
Totally
obviously we weren't dependent on it.
Right.
But we didn't know what internet was. We didn't need it at the time.
No internet or no AC, Mr. Attorney Man.
I'm going no internet because I'm going to pull my loophole. I'm assuming that cell service is still a thing, so I'm going to ride and die and run up my freaking T-Mobile bill, accessing the information that I need.
Well, even if that is the
I'm not going to
loophole,
live without internet in South Louisiana.
even if that is the
I
loophole,
mean AC. Sorry.
my
it?
service,
I think
my
it's a
service
loophole.
wouldn't work. AT&T is garbage.
Okay, so my loophole on this one is I'm just moving to Minnesota or something,
Yeah, good luck.
or Maine or something like that, where it's cold. You don't really need air conditioning. You can have internet.
Then you don't have a heater.
We have fire.
Interesting stat. And first and foremost, yeah, our climate is terrible, but interesting stat. It snowed more here, like on the ground that I'm on right now in Cutoff, than it did in a lot of places in North Dakota this year. 1.5 feet of snow or whatever, and it snowed like 8 inches over there.
I
This
feel
week.
like there's so much land there that's not occupied by human beings. It's hard to gauge that.
Yeah.
If you ever going to, speaking of North Dakota, if you ever going to South Dakota and you want to go see the Mount Rushmore, it has seasons. Make sure you go when it's in season. Don't drive all the way up to Keystone, South Dakota to go
Wait,
see.
whoa. The mountain just walks away and disappears.
No,
And
but the town is a ghost town.
I see.
The
You're the master of going out of season.
Right. You did the same fucking thing in Branson.
we were in Denver and we drove up to Keystone, South Dakota, thinking, okay, we're just gonna go drive up there, check it out, sleep up there, and then drive back to Denver the next day. Sounds great. Did that. Snow all over the road, rough going up all the mountains and shit. Get to Keystone. It's very quiet. Not many cars on the road. Go check into our hotel. There's one restaurant in that area, and it closes at 3. We had to go eat lunch.
Damien's Benny B's comment.
We had to eat lunch and then buy more food so we can have supper that night because there was nothing open.
So speaking of that, and I'm not dogging your wedding at all because it was awesome, but Nick's wedding was at a snow skis type of place in the off season. So, hey, you want to get something to eat? Let's just say, thank God Nick's wedding was catered. Nothing was open.
Do you do no research before you making a trip?
I for the wedding, I did absolutely no research. That was all clear. But figured out that we can go to a hockey game too while we were there. And then we did
5
find,
hours
Or under
away.
the bus.
we did find an LSU bar too.
That was pretty cool. We got to tell that story one day in the middle of
I don't
Denver,
remember it, but
Colorado.
yeah.
I don't remember it.
Literally in the middle of Denver,
So
Colorado, they have an LSU bar, and we made them play Tina Na.
The chocolate daiquiris were flowing that night.
The fake
But
fireball shots that I made
The
Nick take.
alcohol and the altitude will sneak up on you.
Altitude's a real thing. I didn't realize that we was talking about the cruise that went to Honduras, and I kept saying like, man, I'm getting tired. Fat. And yeah, they're almost a mile up. Altitude's a real thing. It's gonna beat the shit out if you're not careful.
Yep.
Mick from Parts Unknown. If you had to draft a sports team using only cartoon characters, who's your number 1 overall pick? This is a really fucking good question.
My answer to this is going to be either Fred Flintstone or Barney Rubble. the fact that they could move a car
that's a good
with
point.
their feet tells me that they could either play O-line or D-line. And Fred was a husky fella. So I'm going to go let's go Fred Flintstone, so I'm not accused of multiple choices here.
Barney's a cuck. Fred is a legit, but Barney's kind of a wuss.
Fred outkicked his coverage.
Yo, yes. Oh, we 1,000% agree there. Yeah. I'm going Bugs Bunny, bro. Like, Bugs Bunny could convince somebody to do anything. Like, he could manipulate anything.
Changes the rules. Of
100%. He will change the scoreboard. Like, he's the biggest heel babyface cartoon character that there is. I'm going Bugs Bunny.
What sport would he play?
Oh, he's real good at basketball, apparently.
Yeah.
He won 2 championships with LeBron and with MJ.
Okay, well, I'm going with Randy Marsh from South Park. The guy's going to play to the whistle. He didn't hear no bell. He's going to continue playing. He's going to play hard. He's going to give you all he's got. He's going to blow his wad, and he will expend all he's got for you. And that's the kind of player you want. Also, bonus, my GM is Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob. Very cheap cap wizard. He's probably not going to pay for any pads or Gatorade or anything. Players might hate him, but he will do so much better than Mickey Loomis, keeping us underneath the cap and have some free agency, like some money to spend when we really need to.
Funny story. My godson Jackson absolutely, for whatever reason, hates Mr. Krabs. Don't know why. But like, we do these little text stories where like he pretends to be Mario, I pretend to be Luigi. We have like a little conversation going back and forth. I always introduce Mr. Crab into the story just to see, because Jackson makes whatever character kill Mr. Krabs immediately. So like Mario and Luigi are like conversing, hey, what do we want to eat for dinner? And then I'll put like Mr. Krabs, hey, you want to come to the Krusty Krab? Hey. Then like his next message will be Luigi grabs a sword and slays Mr. He hates Mr. Crab.
The biggest heel in the company.
Biggest heel in the company, next to Thomas the Train. Tommy, who you drafting?
Give me Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe.
Hey, now. See, I didn't even think of like the Ninja Turtles and stuff either.
I was either going Snake Eyes or Optimus Prime. That was my 2 ones I'm thinking. Because Optimus Prime, literally a toolbox. He could transform into whatever I want him to be and fill whatever role. But I think Snake Eyes is going to be sneaky, very sneaky, low profile, and get the job done whenever I need it.
Inspector Gadget would be a good one, too. Like, he just make himself 10 foot tall. He could, we got some options here. I think we could field a pretty serviceable team.
Leonardo would have been a really good middle linebacker.
Absolutely would have. Could an NBA player make an NFL roster if they had 6 months of training? Sam from Washington wants to know this. What NBA player, right? Like, I mean, LeBron probably in his prime, in his heyday. I mean, he's 6'9", he's 260. He runs like a gazelle. Yeah, sure. I don't know that Ty Lue, when he was playing back in the day, 5'11", 160 nothing. I don't know that he could have done it. But I think most shooting guard / small forward types could probably make a roster. A fucking guy on a beer truck made a roster and ran out of bounds their whole rest of his career. So I think a lot of the forwards and shooting guards would be able to do it if they really dedicated themselves to it.
That was somewhat my answer. I had LeBron. He could have played tight end for any team, and it would have been like Gronk or Jimmy Graham type of player. And any power forward could play defensive end in there.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay. Probably about 80% of the players in the NBA also played football in high school and middle school.
Until their AAU coach made them stop.
Right.
Yeah.
Until they had to pick one.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that they're not far off of NFL level. So it's 6 months of just dedicated training to football. You had Julius Peppers. You had
Ronald Curry.
End? Yeah, Ronald Curry was the tight end from Chargers.
Gates.
Antonio Gates.
And look, we got an example locally. Devontavian Martin at Ellender was basketball only. Right. I'm a basketball guy. I'm a UNO commitment. He goes, takes football seriously his senior year. He's still in the NFL today.
I feel so glad he missed that game.
We have a pretty good senior at South Lafourche that's pretty good at 2 sports. And
yes.
I'm quite interested to see which one he's going to go to the next level to play, but it could be either one. Guys like that basically had to make a decision at one point what they want to do. Allen Iverson, quarterback or point guard, shooting guard.
Imagine his story being he was an NFL quarterback. I know in his day the running quarterback wasn't a thing, but now like that's very common.
Jason Williams, Randy Moss, all 2 sport studs in high school.
And by the way, I know some of the people in your circle may disagree with me. The young man that you were talking about, I think, has got better football aspirations than basketball.
I think he thinks that himself. I'm just interested to see where he goes with it.
Yeah. Oh, he could do both. He's incredible. The dude is open on every single play in football. He's a fucking cheat code in football.
He's also very good at blitz ball in the front yard, too.
Tommy?
The easy answer. Absolutely yes. Because just look at all of the quote unquote failed college basketball stars who don't get drafted, and the NFL takes shots on them every year. All the power forwards, small forwards that turn into tight ends. Like Damien said, I'm going to do opposite. I think almost any power forward could be a red zone tight end target.
You already have the frame.
Yeah.
Did Jimmy Graham ever play basketball?
I don't know. Who's Kramer Robertson's mom?
You know, I think I recall Antonio Gates and maybe Tony Gonzalez and Chris Manhurst. Guys like Chris Manhurst came out of nowhere just because, he could jump high. And then your boy, what was your dude from Baylor? The basketball dude that got signed to go be a tight end.
Ricardo Gathers.
Power forward. There you go.
Dude from
So, I mean, it's like every year there's this one basketball guy that.
I was asked on a radio show that I actually did an appearance on in Kansas City recently, and they asked me, it was a video game segment, they asked me, what would be your ideal perfect version of the perfect video game? And I'm curious to hear y'all answer. My answer was like an NCAA style game that is an open world game, almost like The Sims, where like you got to do stuff. And like if you take care of your body and you do the right shit, you're like a 99 on Saturday. But if you go get drunk and do crazy Grand Theft Auto shit, you're like a 70 on Saturday. I thought that would be really cool. I know it's very time consuming. But what would y'all ideal video game be like?
I think stuff like that is just doing too much. That it's just
like NFL head coach back in the day.
Yes, from week to week, there's so many little tasks that you have to do, and it's back in the day when they had players might get suspended for academic reasons or stuff like that,
and you could not suspend them and risk probation. That was pretty cool.
Love that.
My ideal video game would be similar to what Casey said, but more centered along the lines of recruiting, NIL, and that could be football, basketball, baseball, whatever that may be. And just more of a management type of game where you got to just deal with all these situations with 72 people in your roster and have to make those type of decisions to be able to have your team or whatnot succeed or not.
And look, I know they would never do this on like an NCAA game because they actually have the licenses to like the names LSU and Penn State and all that. But if they didn't, I would love to have like the fucking ability to cheat. Like if I want to risk it for the biscuit and cheat to bring in a recruit, like let's do it. They would never allow it to happen under the NCAA license because it would paint the organization in a certain light. But like Nick said, back in the day where you would get the little message pop up, hey, your star quarterback is, academically ineligible for 3 games. Do you want to do the suspension or not? Sometimes if you said no, you would get probation or lose scholarships or whatever. Give me more of that stuff because guess what? We're all adults. We're not naive. That's what really happens.
I was going to say like something where you start in high school and you get more decisions in high school to build yourself up and maybe pick what sport you want to play. And then as you go to college, you get less. It's not as labor intensive. I think they tried to do that in NCAA when you're like, do you want to go to class? Do you want to study? Yeah. But I'm with Casey like, hey, they're having a party at so-and-so. Do you want to go? And the coach finds out. Or, hey, Ricky Rose's dad wants a tractor. Will you pay for it? Fuck yeah. Either that or I was thinking, I want a mafia game. But, like, you start out as you could pick, like, are you the Godfather's grandson? Like, are you born into the family? Or are you the consigliere who's not full blood? You're not made. Like, work your way up the ladder. Like, I want a real mafia game that gets into the shit. Like, starting out, going pick up the stakes. And then hey, do you want to buy the heroin while you're getting the stakes? Like, hell yeah.
That sounds legit. And look, I know that there's this whole video game subculture of simulator games where like, hey, you could buy a form, or there's one, I think it's Ant Simulator, whatever. Is there any type of like attorney simulator game out there? Is there anything like that where you're like, you got to manage attorneys and cases, or is there anything like that?
I hope not.
Not to my knowledge, but I wouldn't be surprised because one of the games I have been wanted to play, I think it's only on computer though. There's like a bartender simulator.
Yeah.
And you could literally throw the glasses at people when they order stuff that you don't want to make.
Simulator subculture in video games. That's some big stuff. Like those games do big numbers.
How about a bridge
They
management?
literally have a goat simulator.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think you're literally like a fucking goat.
I used to have dog simulator on my phone where you just a stray dog
So
just going.
they have to have, I guess they have to have some kind of lawyer simulator. You know what? I'm going to fucking Google that right now.
Yeah, like you're this big leader of a huge firm and you got to hand out cases to your team. And like it feels like a good idea.
I really think we own to something
and then
with
you
the
get fucking
DTB
popped for
GTA.
sexual harassment and you got to
That would
like
be
sell
amazing.
your firm because it goes bankrupt.
They got
Lawyer
one, Tom?
Life 3D. Lawyer, I'm going to go. Oh, it's on Steam. So we could live broadcast. Maybe we'll do that one day.
All right. Yeah, it sounds like a win. If you could figure out the 1,000% truth about any conspiracy right now, what would you pick and why? This is from Scott from Homa. Scott's a real person, one of my friends from Homa. Nicholas Abear, this is 100% on a T for you. Which one would you choose?
I thought about this. My one conspiracy that I would love to know 1,000% truth would be: is the Earth flat? Is it round?
It's round. Come
It's
on.
not.
You're
I'm
wasting
telling
it
you,
on
it's
that.
not. There's no way in hell we're spinning on a ball going million miles an hour, rotating around us. Not even like just like weaving around space, rotating around a sun. That's not happening.
Nick, it's been done before. People have been put on ships and have gone all the way around the world. You would fall off the end of it.
There's
if it was
a flat Earth map that is round that you can circumnavigate the whole thing. It's possible, but I don't believe we're on a globe. People think that's so crazy, but once you start like reading into it, none of the globe stuff makes sense. Not a single thing on the globe stuff makes sense.
Okay,
If
my follow-up to that is, why does it matter?
I would just like to know, because I'm pretty sure I'm right, but everybody thinks it's so ridiculous.
So, like, just tomorrow, if somebody says, hey, I have full 100% proof that the world's flat,
Then I would print it out, walk into Silas's room and be like,
Like,
you see this? You see this? I was right, because he thinks it's ridiculous.
I want to say the moon thing, but I know we haven't been to the moon. Like, I've done enough research on that. I know we haven't been to the moon.
But they tell you that we've been to the moon, so why would you believe that we wouldn't go to the moon?
Because we've never been back since in 60 years, despite technology having evolved 1,000 times over. We were in the middle of a Cold War. We needed to show that we had a larger penis than Russia, so we bluffed going to the moon. The shadows didn't match up. None of the astronauts were willing to take a lie detector test. We did not go to the moon at all, remotely, not even close. You agree with me on that one?
Yeah, I'm 1,000% buying you.
Did not go to the moon. Are you with me on that one too? Or?
Yeah, I've seen the movie.
I think I know enough about JFK to know that there was some shady shenanigans. I think almost everybody agrees there. I think I know enough about the moon to know there was some shady shenanigans.
The UN, United Nations logo is a flat Earth map. These motherfuckers know something, and they pulling the wool over our eyes.
Breaking news, Rosselli's Clothing, the new clothing sponsor of Bayou Sports. My answer would be, I want to know, golly, I hate to even go here, but I think I know the answer anyway. I think we might have done September 11 to ourselves, but I would like to know, just because it was a traumatizing event in my childhood. It was like the first big world tragedy that I was alive for and understood what was happening. I would love to know the truth about that.
That was exactly my answer as well. I don't think it changes anybody's day-to-day, but I would like to know if we did that to ourselves or who did it and how it was done.
Just so happens that there was $1 trillion missing, and there's a lot. There's a nice thing to get into for a few months to just watch videos constantly.
Yeah, I think I got a little bit better shit to do.
I've once been told the best way to spark an economy is to start a war. The economy was in a recession. Let's go ahead and start a war. Who are we going to start a war against? Oh, these people that my daddy couldn't finish off in the 90s. So it's
all about all money, bro. That's why I'm in oil and gas.
See, we're doing a good job not talking about sports right now. Did you guys see that dude in like Idaho who like killed 3 or 4 people? Mm-hmm. I want to go off on a tangent right here, right now, and it is going to piss people off, but I don't care. There's this dude in Idaho who killed like 4 people, serial killer. Got arrested, was awaiting trial, pled not guilty. On the eve of the trial, after making this family like agonize over this trial for like 3 or 4 years, delays, all sorts of issues, the pussy pled guilty to avoid getting the death penalty. If there were real justice in the world, the son of a bitch would die tomorrow and would get just nature's death penalty for doing that to those people. So I just want to say that. I know he's not listening from his jail cell, but serial killer in Idaho, you're a fucking pussy. Thank you. Drop my mic.
Solid. I'm all for the death penalty, by the way.
I think so too. Why should we have to fund the lives of?
I don't necessarily think it should be pushed on, but if that's an option that you'd like to take, why not?
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I'm 100% agree.
But we just keep them in jail so they could escape and live lavishly for the next 3 months before we catch them again.
And then feed them a steak before we, give them an injection and make them go to sleep. Want to thank everybody for listening. If you have a question in the future, drop it on our socials or get it to one of us direct. A lot of the questions that we had this week for people to just send them to us direct. So thanks for listening to our Not Mott's Mailbag, brought to you by the Lafourche Concert and Events Club. For Nick to my right, Damien to my left, and Tommy, wherever he disappeared to, this is Casey Just there signing off. You guys have a tremendous rest of the day. And happy 4th of July, everybody. America.
Oh, I agree.
Mott's Mailbag. Send in your dumb questions and watch us give even dumber answers. Not Mott's Mailbag.